Hey, everybody, it's Lance Dawson. I am back in the studio this week with my amigo, Andrew Stewart, for another episode of Backstage Lowdown. This week, we are speaking with local DJ, Daryl Pooran, who has made it his mission to bring R&B back to KW. I'm not sure if it's back to KW or he's just bringing R&B, but he's doing it. And he's got a whole thing happening at Center in the Square in August. We're going to talk about how he is going to do that. We're going to talk about that show so that everybody can get a ticket and go and see it. I think it's fantastic. Daryl's entertaining. He's a sweet guy, and he's got a real good mission that Andrew and I get to chat with him about. So, yeah, stay with us for Daryl Pooran. And I want to tell you one more thing. Just as a reminder, we are sponsored by Look Digital Marketing. For stunning websites to full service digital marketing, they help your business shine online. See the difference with Look Digital Marketing. They make Andrew and I look good. So, I mean, come on, that says it all. Here we go. Well, word on the street is that Daryl's a pretty great DJ, and he's a one man mission. Statement is to bring R&B back to KW, or maybe not back. Maybe it's never. I don't know. Has it been a strong R&B place, Daryl? Have you had that sense that there was at one
Not,
point?
not, not really. No, I'm trying to put it on the map and trying
Right.
to, establish a good R&B urban scene in Kitchener-Waterloo.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, it's a great place in that the musical history is really rich here. Definitely blues. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So that's great. So now, where are you DJing? Where can people go and see you and hear what you're putting down?
yeah. So I do mostly corporate gigs now, corporate gigs and casino gigs, a lot of weddings and stuff like that. I don't do
Okay.
nightclubs and stuff like that too much anymore, simply because of the financial reasoning behind it.
Oh,
So
okay.
just more, more, more meat, if you will, when
No,
you're
for
doing.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. When you're doing weddings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it generally calls for a higher caliber DJ as well. It's not just some guy to walk in and start, playing beats or laying beats down. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot more behind the scene that has to go on. There's a lot more setup, and I just enjoy the whole process a
Okay.
lot more than just kind of showing up for a couple $100 kind of thing.
That's interesting
Yeah.
because I honestly, what I don't know about DJing would fill a large book. But I would have thought that being in the club scene keeps you closer to sort of the streets and what kids are listening to and what you need to be putting down, that sort of thing. So in an effort to bring R&B in and what people want to listen to and what clubs can move to that genre, or at least have one or two nights a week dedicated to that, I kind of thought that would be the way to go, and that they actually they would pay for a higher caliber DJ to do that, because you couldn't just like, I've been to weddings where people walk in, plug an iPod in, and there you go. That's their night. Now, that's not what you're delivering for sure, but they do it. You can't do that at a nightclub. People would revolt.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah.
So you're saying, you're
Oh,
suggesting though that that system is actually a little upside down, that in the nightclubs, they're not paying for somebody like yourself that has the expertise to really keep those kids on the dance floor. Is that
um, I mean, like there's different scopes and different avenues to DJing, of course. So you're thinking about staying relevant and up to date. I also do a lot of school dances and proms and stuff like that. So I
oh,
know
right on?
exactly what these kids are up to and what they're thinking and
Yeah.
what they're looking for. With that being said, like if I showed you a playlist from last week, actually, I did one, and I showed you a playlist from 10 years ago.
Yep.
You very 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 hardly find any differences except for a couple of nuanced songs that are hitting the charts right now. They're like,
Right.
and of course the Taylor Swifts of the world are kind of woven in, but generally speaking, the playlist from yesteryear, from 10 years ago to now, not
Yeah.
much has changed.
That would be an interesting podcast in and of itself to bring Daryl in and a few other people that we've talked to in their past, just trying to understand why, music, we could just keep producing more and more music. And yet, I just remember when my sons, all of a sudden they were listening to rap, and then all of a sudden they discovered CCR and the Eagles and the like all the Dylan, and all that old stuff. And it always seems to just come back to the top. And to Daryl's point, it's still on the playlists. And so I'm always so curious as why that always seems to be the case.
Yeah, it's still like the classic rocks, like the pop disco, like the ABBA, the Dancing Queens of the world, stuff like that. That none of that's going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like if you're doing a nightclub and you're going for this specific type of genre and this ultra niche stuff, then that's not me anyways.
Right.
But like for the general masses, like the general music consumption that I'm seeing hasn't changed much in the last 10 years.
Okay. Well, there's no bigger ABBA fan than Andrew Stewart. I mean,
that's right.
Just,
voulez-vous,
man.
I really, right? That's right. I really like what you're doing though. You're spreading out. Now you're producing the R&B Chronicles. You're bringing R&B, you're bringing reggae, you're bringing hip hop into the city. And well, it's still in the kind of the same genre. It is really a whole different ball game though when you're into producing these sort of shows. Now you've brought acts into the city over the years. How, what were those experiences like, and how has it shaped what R&B Chronicles is set to become?
So yeah, so I started off with a couple of reggae shows, just because I just wanted to kind of test the market and see where things were at and the temperature of the room, so to speak.
So you're acting as a promoter, in this regard, right? Yeah.
I put them on. I hired the band, like the whole gamut.
Right.
So I started with a couple of shows, and I just felt like Kitchener-Waterloo deserved a higher caliber, even more so. Not to discredit what those other artists were about. Like they were major names in the reggae space. But I just felt like I could do more for the city. I know maybe it's a bit of a complex of my own, but I'm not seeing anybody else step up to the plate.
I think the city needs it.
Right. That's sort of what I would like. I don't want to say Live Nations of the world, but like the bigger corporate giants of the world that could kind of do this with a couple of strokes kind of thing. They haven't stepped to the plate for whatever reason, and it's been a vacant spot for a long time. Now, of course, now they're more beholden to their stockholders and this and that, and maybe a show like that here is not gonna cut it in the bottom line type of thing. But that's not my mandate. My mandate is to obviously try and break even as best I can, but try and bring a different experience to Kitchener-Waterloo that hasn't been here before, and quite frankly, we deserve.
Okay. No, that's fair. I think, and maybe riding the coattails of, we definitely have a rich history with Mel Brown and Sean Kellerman, sort of that next generation of blues player. And then, of course, as the cultural fabric of KW has been changing and morphing over the last 10 years, right. There might be actual, more of a want for it, or, and then some other people that have a bit of a curiosity, that sort of thing. What do you think the status of just venues for live music? What are you finding when you go to approach different venues and say, this is what I want to do? Are you on board? We've certainly lost a few key venues over the last few years.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's really hard to find a good venue that supports live music. I love Maxwell. Paul's a great guy.
Yep.
But aside from that, there really isn't, in my estimation, a venue that our Generation X kind of people would want to go to, where like you're not sticking to the floor kind of thing, and it hasn't been updated in 20 years since it opened, kind of thing. Like I've done a couple of shows in some other places then.
It's awesome that you're bringing R&B Chronicles to the center and the square.
Right.
When you talk about focusing on R&B music from the 90s into the 2000s, where do those people that were around when that music first dropped, where do they want to be? Where do they want to see a show? They
Right.
one, they do want comfortable seating, but they want like world-class acoustics as well. And that,
Can I just wait a second? I have a question because
yeah.
and this dovetails Andrew's question. So Daryl, you said about like our generation, we want to go to a certain venue. What generation are we talking about?
So I'm from Generation X. I'm 46 at
Okay.
this point.
Yeah. So Andrew and I are both Gen Xers as well. Okay. So that's great.
Okay. Great.
Okay. So we're all on
Yeah,
board.
and so like
When Andrew says we need comfortable seating.
well,
Okay.
okay, maybe I want comfortable seating.
No. You're not
Lance, we can put him in the back
That's
corner on a wooden chair. That's fine.
No,
And
I like my comfortable seating.
exactly. But it's the music that you're focusing on. And so it's going to bring in people from that age group. If that's the case.
Sure. Yeah, that's the hope for sure. I mean, like I kind of have to focus in on what do Generation X really want, and they want great seating. They want good air conditioning if needed. They want amazing acoustics. Like we expect a higher caliber. We're not just a bunch.
Yeah,
of kids
we really do.
Or, whatever, and we're willing to pay for it. From the research that I've done and the outreach that we're willing to pay for a higher caliber experience and a higher caliber act. So that's why I've kind of tried to meld, well, what makes the most sense here to kind of jump things off with. And I felt Montell Jordan, who was my first act. He kind of fit the need of like, he steps on both the R&B side of things. And This Is How We Do It is kind of a mainstream song as well. Like everybody and their brother knows that song kind of thing, especially in our age demographic. But the hard, staunch R&B guys, they might not mess with This Is How We Do It all that much, but they know his real R&B stuff. And so that's why I felt like he kind of fit the need of the first kind of test ground.
Okay, interesting. Have you talked to or heard of Betty Ann Keller, Daryl?
No, I'm not familiar.
Okay, Andrew was going to set you up with a link to. We interviewed her a couple seasons ago, but she has been around KW for a long time, and her husband was a version of you. So back in the '60s, he decided that he was in engineering at UW, and no one was having any fun, so he decided to put on a dance. Hired a band, rented out the stadium over by Laurier, brought the nurses in. Yeah, because back in the day, like that was like $50 or $100 to rent the stadium out, right? Brought in a busload of nurses from Grand River Hospital, had his engineering class show up, hired a band, and boom, there he was. So then he became a concert promoter, and that's why Kiss has played KW, and Elton John's played the Bomb Shelter, and
he did that.
Oh yeah, he was the guy.
Wow.
So if you ever get the opportunity to, and I'm only suggesting this to you for research because this is your jam. Rock This Town was a documentary designed and produced by Betty Ann, and it's all about the musical history in this town and how this happened with musical producers. Like he brought Chuck Berry to Guelph, all this stuff. But the reason I'm bringing this up, and the reason I want you to know that, because I think you and Betty Ann should chat. She wants KW to have a real grassroots movement for musicians of any genre. So they don't feel like they have to go to Toronto, to Montreal, to New York, to LA to actually have a musical career. Now, I'm a musician, and my challenge to her was, I said, well, look, we just had, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, I always get the name with, is it Lot 42? That was up and running for a little while, and then that couldn't make it as a music venue. It was a great location off the highway, right? And it had a total, like it was a refurbished factory, had an urban feel, like it was awesome. Was really cool. We couldn't make it happen.
With the acoustics, though.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. But I mean, okay, look, let's call it. If I was interviewing Paul Maxwell, and I'm with you on that. I love Paul. I think he's great, and he's done a lot of great things for this city. But Maxwell's is not known for its great acoustics. It's a loud venue. It is what it is, right? And so I'm not faulting Lot 42 for not having, good sound. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's like post-pandemic stuff, but there is a bit of a drop off in terms of people's investment in live music. People's want to go out to these venues. They're willing to spend $1,000 to go see Taylor Swift, but maybe not, $20 to get into what is the old Starlight to go see an R&B act, right?
Right.
And I don't know what the answer is. I just know that there's people like yourself and Betty Ann that are really committed to bringing back live music to such a rich musical history city. I just don't know how to help you make it happen.
Yeah, like I remember back in the day, like you would hear, and again, I'm more of an urban guy, but like you would hear about like, Public Enemy came to town, or Run DMC came to town, or
Yeah.
like it just went on and on and on. And we have like a lot of talent right here. Like Glenn Lewis lives in Kitchener-Waterloo. Carl Thomas, like all these guys, they live right here. They're just not getting I want to say the opportunities that should be allotted to them because of the talent and the work that they've already put in.
Right.
Kind of thing. And that's another thing that I'm trying to do as well. Like my opening act is a two-time Juno, nominee, who's a phenomenal act. Her name is Tanya P.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal act, but she just doesn't get the not the notoriety. She has a lot of notoriety, but the opportunities to showcase her talent the way it should be.
And especially here in town as well too. It just
we just talked about that, but there's really nothing in town. It's not from the Kitchener from the center of the square.
No, exactly.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. What made Montell Jordan kind of the go-to person for the first show to launch the R&B Chronicles?
Yeah, so I did reach out to a lot of artists within that group, and again, like he just felt like the right caliber of act for the right caliber of show to kind of jumpstart things off. Like if this kicks off the way I hope it will, then of course we'll bring higher caliber acts and stuff like that. But like I said before, like he has a great one-off song for like the general, pop public kind of guy, and he has a great R&B catalog for people like me who listen to R&B and will know his kind of deeper cut kind of thing.
No, that's fantastic. And I've seen that you're talking about maybe branching out in a hip hop, maybe even getting into some comedy as well too. Center in the Square, that is actually a great place to see some of the bigger comedy acts. And there is often this link that happens between great stand-up comedy and music. They're often brought together. And I can definitely see that happening in this area and how that can potentially come about.
Yeah, like really and truly, there's a lot of want. I feel like there's a lot of want, and there's a lot of desire for things to happen. It just people need to kind of hear about it and get on board, kind of thing. Start telling their friends and stuff like that.
No, for sure.
But there's absolutely a lot of want for a lot of other things other than what we're being presented with right now.
Daryl, do you have partners in this? Like, do you sit down with other people and say, like, is there an organized approach to bringing R&B to KW? I mean, I'm impressed that you've got a show going on at Center in the Square. To me, that's the crown jewel of, places that we even have here. So I'm just wondering, like, do you have people you're sitting around a table with saying, look, how can we do this? What's the plan? Or this is just you thinking, look, I'm going to swing for the bleachers kind of thing?
This is more of a passion project for myself. Like I'm a DJ and I do well enough to not have to worry about other things financially. So this is sort of my passion project, and I'm going to do this. If I'm going to do this, it's going to be on my terms with sort of my calls and my data kind of thing. So I'm a one man band kind of thing.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Obviously, as I get bigger and hopefully get bigger and bring more things to the table, I'd like to branch out and bring other members on board. But for right now, it's pretty lean. It's just me. I take care of the day-to-day stuff. Obviously, I hire out, but for the day-to-day stuff, it's all me.
Okay. No, I'm just curious because I was wondering whether or not there's certain things that could help. Like we have a jazz festival, we have our blues festival,
Yeah.
and those are arguably pretty loose terms. Like when you look at their lineups, that's not 100% jazz. It's not 100% blues. I remember Andrew and I, we saw Lowest the Low at the blues festival one year. They're not a blues band. But I think the designers or the directors of those festivals are like, look, we got to build this, and if people don't come to it, then it just kind of goes away. And
Right.
so I guess what I'm saying is that maybe if you plugged in to all those other artistic directors, which is really what you are now, you're an artistic director slash promoter, of maybe working in some R&B into either existing festivals, or do we have enough interest? If Center in the Square goes well, do we have enough interest to have an R&B weekend or an R&B festival? That'd be pretty cool.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
years ago there was a singer songwriter, not a festival, but they call singer songwriter weekend. Paul McLeod was a big part of that, and anyway, there's a whole bunch of songwriters, and some played the Boathouse, and some played like the Jazz Room or whatever. There's just different venues you could go around and see all these different local songwriters. We could do something like that with R&B as well, which would be fun, right? It's not all at Center Square, and people can go out and see a whole bunch of artists. But I guess in all of that, my question was like, sort of, what is your overall approach of where do you want to go, and how do we inject R&B into this community? What's sort of the plan?
the plan. That's a great question, actually. The plan right now, I'm just trying to feel out and just gather data to see
Okay.
what's really like. People always think, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing. I'm there. You bring in so and so, I'm
Right.
there. But
Sure.
really putting butts in the seats, that's a different tell.
Yeah.
Especially when it costs a lot of money to put a show on like that, especially at the Center in the Square, and the prices have to reflect that. So it really, for me right now, the data, it's just about pulling in data, seeing where things really, really do lie,
Right.
as far as who's going to support what, and
Yep.
how much of that we're going to get. Because I'd love to do something at the odd, or like you had mentioned, maybe doing like a weekend thing and bring down like an Angie Stone or something like that. But I'm way off from that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to feel out the market at this point and see who's really going to get on board and who's not.
Sure.
But you're really swinging for the fences for the
Uh,
kind of the first show for the R&B Chronicles. Like,
well, I've always been the kind of guy like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it
yeah,
right. I'm not going to do this tiptoe. Like I've done other shows before, so I know my way around doing a show.
yeah.
That's not the hard part. The hard part is getting people on board,
Right. And getting them out of their house.
Well, yeah.
getting them out of their
People
house. And
buying a
getting them
ticket for this event, it's really a vote for bringing more urban music to the KW area.
right, and that's why I kind of swang for the fences, as you said, Andrew, because I didn't want to give anybody the excuse of, oh, I never heard of that guy, or I didn't have enough time, or it was too much money, or any of those, like
Yeah.
all those. I tried to make it as all those excuses kind of go away. It's either you want to be on board or you don't, and that's kind of why I did it as I did it.
No, completely.
So what's been the response?
So we're Generation X, so we like to wait to buy tickets, kind of. So admittedly, haven't been
That's
where
true.
I'd like to. Yeah, I know. Everybody waits till like 4 to 6 weeks out, and they're like, "Hey, are we doing that show, or what's happening here?" But yeah, so the response online for my event pages, I'm up to almost, I believe, 1750.
Great.
So we're almost at the 2,000 person mark as people that's been interested. We're lots of shares, lots of comments, lots of people tagging their friends and stuff about, let's make a weekend out of this, and so on and so forth. So the initial outreach and the initial response has been excellent. But again, like, it's just getting butts and seats at this point. That's
Right.
what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell at this stage as to what it's going to be like until everybody really starts pulling the trigger. And as you say, Gen X, we wait until the last minute to grab our tickets.
Understandably so. Like, there's a
Make
lot
sure
going
that,
on between work and kids.
yeah, got to make sure that we got the babysitters set up, and
Right.
that's not happening until like 2 weeks out at some time. So
Yeah, exactly. So I understand that Generation X is busy, but deserve something to do if they want to do it.
No, exactly.
I don't want to be short-sighted though, and nix or block out other generations. I think that there's, like we just said, younger kids are discovering, all sorts of artists. Al Green, like, you know what I mean. They'll say, "Oh, check this out," and I introduce my kids like, you got to listen to Ray Charles, man. Like, this is the guy, right? So yeah, I don't want to just hang it all on Gen X, although they tend to be also the generation that would spend money on a seat at Center in the Square, to be fair.
Right. And in my experience, like when these artists were like the young hot thing, we kind of missed that boat in Kitchener-Waterloo. Just because it would just go, there just wasn't enough of a scene in this area for people that would pay those types of prices. So you had to go to Toronto.
Yeah.
Montell Jordan, or I'm blanking on names, but like
just anybody of that caliber.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go to Toronto. Even 10 years ago, I would have been like, I don't know, but I think we're ready at this point to see shows like that in the area.
All right, I've got another question. This guy actually goes out to both of you, because Andrew can weigh in on this too. How do you combat, because when you say, like, back in the day, it was just a different time, and creating a scene, like you're just saying, I want to create an R&B scene in this town, etc. I don't know how you go about doing that anymore, when so many of the people would say, "Oh, you know what? There's something cool going on at Center in the Square tonight. But you know what? I'll catch it on YouTube tomorrow." Because about 20 people post, different clips and excerpts. And how do you, or do you use that like in somehow to help create the scene, right? So you do your Center in the Square thing. You don't put as many butts in the seats, because some of them stay home and they watch it on YouTube the next day. But maybe those posts help generate for the next concert. I'm asking. I honestly don't know, because to me, getting people out of their house, getting people off a screen, they just seem to want to put the least amount of effort into experiencing something live and organic. Does that have any merit? And how do we go? How do we fight that? Andrew, that goes to you and Daryl.
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of to each their own kind of thing. For me, there's no experience like a live experience.
Right.
No YouTube on the world and on the planet is going to replace actually sitting in the seat, listening to 1,000 people or whatever sing the same song at the same time, and you're all a part of the same thing and the same movement. To me, that's priceless. That's not going to go away. And for those people, they're willing to spend the money and they're willing to come out. So I don't see that as something I need to combat too much. Like, if you want to come, it's there kind of thing.
Right.
Well, I think that you're actually hosting this now outside of Toronto. I know just for myself, there is often times that I won't go in and see a show in Toronto because it's on a weeknight. I want to see something that's actually local. And so now you're bringing that to the area. That's going to draw from all of the surrounding cities around us. You're going to bring in everybody that's fans in Guelph. You're going to bring people in from Oakville. It's going to come in from London. And the goal obviously is to fill those seats. And I think that there are those people out there. I've got two younger brothers that still from Generation X, heavily into the R&B and hip hop scene in particular. And I shot them both messages right away when I found out what you're doing.
Oh, nice.
And they were hyped about it. The one guy, he's in Oakville, and the other guy, he's in Guelph. So they're close to the community. And I think that those are the people that you're going to draw in, because people don't want to deal with the traffic either of going into the city. I know for myself, if I'm going in, I'm jumping on the train instead of driving in, because I don't want to deal with the traffic. And you just, there is traffic in around Center in the Square. It's not what you're dealing with in the city. Your 1.5 hour drive turns into a 4-hour drive.
Can I just recap for a second, just for Daryl's amusement? So far, Daryl, Andrew,
I know exactly where this is going.
Andrew doesn't want to go anywhere on a weeknight. He doesn't want to go anywhere that might be too late. It might have
Correct.
traffic, and also he needs a soft seat.
Right.
So
For
this is
Andrew,
what you're up against.
Nail on the
And
head.
I feel like he says he's a Gen Xer, but I think he might be like post World War II. I feel like
no, that's
I'm going to skip
Andrew's
Boomer.
not-
I skip Boomer completely.
Yeah.
He needs a train. I don't want to drive.
Yeah.
I think my partner's become Larry David. I'm not sure. But I think
You know what, Lance? Andrew is spot on with what I've
Yeah.
noticed in what people are looking for, and I tried to answer that call as best I could.
Yeah.
you need an R&B Netflix special. That's what he wants. He wants an R&B Netflix special that he can just turn on his TV and watch anytime.
No. I love the
Starring
live
Daryl.
event. I do love the live music. And
No, you'll notice that not all my first event is on a Saturday, and it's during a time that's he's on at 8 and he's done at 10. That's the show. So
But
you have
see?
Excellent. And then Andrew, you're in bed 10:30. Again,
Yeah.
that you can get home in
I'm
time.
golden.
Excellent.
Yeah, no,
It's
100%.
Ovaltine.
I've done my best to answer all the calls from Gen X.
Yeah.
I would be remotely interested in seeing the show and trying to, as I said before, trying to escape the I wanted to go, but like
No,
in
exactly.
this
Right.
situation, there's no but.
Yeah. And Lance, DJ Vibe is serving the Ovaltine right in the seats. I don't have to wait to go for me to get home.
All right. And maybe some Metamucil as a chaser or something. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, there you go.
This is next level. He is swinging for the fences. So
That's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
let's think about these things.
They're searching people's bags for drugs, and all they're finding is magnesium. Like, what the hell is happening? It's supposed to be urban. Come on, man. Does this thing go past 10:30? My God.
Yeah, no. As I said before, I tried to answer the call as best I could to what Generation X is looking for, and of course, older millennials and whoever else would want to come. But my core audience is definitely Generation X.
Yeah. I think Gen X's can handle post 10 o'clock, and
So
maybe even a
the-
Wednesday. I don't know. Wednesday. Oh, it's crazy.
Now that's
most-
dangerous.
Most Generation X, they want to be at home by midnight.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they got gardening the next day. They got whatever the next day. I mean, like, these are the realities that we have to,
yeah.
Did you say that we've got gardening the next day? I just want to clarify.
yeah.
Oh,
Lance,
Gardening, family events. Got to check on the kids or whatever. Like, the list goes on and on. Like, I understand that Generation X is busy, and we want to take some time out, but not enough time out.
Lance,
Andrew?
don't try to say for a minute that you did not do some gardening this past weekend. I know you went out to the vintage guitar show.
I did.
but
How
you
is that
also-
gardening? That's
you also
cool.
you also did some gardening, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what I did do. This doesn't classify as gardening, but I hung 2 birdhouses. How about that?
Okay.
How
That's
about
worse.
that?
That is worse.
It's not worse.
That's
Yeah,
very
that's-
Gen X of you.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what it was? My one of my sons for Mother's Day built birdhouses with his mom.
Okay.
And that was cool. So they built, and then it was my job to hang the birdhouses. Because if I left it up to those two, they would have just slung them over some branch and anything. So yeah, sorry, Daryl. I was trying to keep it on point.
We
here.
have completely taken this off to the left. We're
Andrew-
now
Andrew-
talking gardening and
I know.
hanging up the birdhouses.
Before we take any more advice from you for like, oh, I can't go, it's Wednesday. Is that seat hardwood? I can't do that. My God. Can you back up from the camera for just a second? Just wheel it back 6 feet so Daryl and I can look and cast our eyes on that shirt.
Yeah,
That is cool,
no,
man.
I picked this up at the vintage guitar show. Actually,
And you look good. You're rocking it. You're rocking it. It brings my
Listen, let's get back to DJ Vibe. Nobody needs to know about what shirt or where I got it.
I
But
feel like Daryl would like to say something about that shirt. Don't
beside-
interrupt that man.
besides being on this show, like what's been one moment that's made you stop and say, like, this is actually why I'm doing this?
I think mostly it's the reaction from the city so far. It's been like, oh wow, I can't believe this is happening. I've actually had people inbox me like, is this actually happening? Like, is he actually showing up, kind of thing. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest part, is like people really do want to be a part of this if there's something to be a part of.
Was
And
Center in the Square supportive? Were they excited to have an R&B
they were
night?
so excited about it. Like when I reached out to them a couple of years back about this, and I've just been reaching out to them and corresponding with the artists and the center and this and that. But one thing that I was steadfast on is that it had to be on a weekend. It has to be on a Saturday. And if you can't make it on a Saturday, I can't hire you. And that was one of the biggest trip ups, because I could have had anybody for a Tuesday or for a Monday.
Right.
But for the first few, anyways, it had to be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I had to answer all the calls that Generation X is putting forth. Well, sorry. So back to your question. No, I would say the week that I reached out to them saying, hey, I have an idea in my head, I'd like to put it on paper. They were super supportive, super helpful. Yeah, no,
That's great.
They understand that there's a big call for it as well. And I guess for whatever politics there is, they couldn't do it themselves. For again, I don't know the back talk,
Right.
history talk or anything like that. I'm just one guy that's trying to fill the seats, trying to bring something to Kitchener-Waterloo. But for whatever reason, they were like, we need this. Kitchener is on board. We're on board. How can we help you? Kind of thing. So yeah, Lance, they were totally supportive, and they were on board all the way through.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. They were very supportive.
Yeah. And it all starts with one guy. So I think that's really cool. I wish you all the success. I think I obviously love live music, and any and every genre, if we can have access to it, right? So
yeah,
we'll make sure it gets, obviously, we have 9 listeners, Daryl. So that's going to be awesome. You're going to, 9 people will show up.
That is the worst joke that Lance has been now making for 5 years. Like, I think everybody gets the joke and probably groans now when they hear it.
Oh, it's just so true. No, it's not true. We have more than 9 listeners. That's true.
Oh,
exactly.
God.
Anyway.
So let's say this goes off, the swing for the moment happens, and it goes out of the park.
Yeah.
5 years, 10 years down on the road, who are some of the artists that you'd like to see coming into town?
Are we talking pie in the sky kind of things? Or?
Yeah, sure. Pie in the sky.
Yeah, so I mean, like pie in the sky. I'd love to bring a T-Pain. I'd love to bring an Usher. I'd love to bring a Keisha Cole, like R&B acts.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring a 50 Cent if we're talking pie in the sky.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is the moment just to kind of put it out there into the universe and let the universe soak this up.
Yeah. Am I wrong thinking that, and I could be wrong, you guys jump in, but isn't Bieber connected to some of these guys you just talked about? And doesn't he have a place down in Puslinch is
whatever they call it. Yeah.
Puslinch. Yeah.
I don't
whatever.
I don't Can we just talk to me? Yeah, I'm sure he's heavily connected to those guys.
Dude, you got a gig at Center in the Square. I wouldn't have even thought that was like, come on. If you're going to swing for the bleachers, let's call the Beebs. Andrew, get him on speed dial. Come on.
He and I aren't that tight.
As a matter of fact, I feel like he could put butts in seats
on the street. Oh yeah, no, for sure. There's no doubt that he could fill it like around here.
I mean, for me, like a Justin Bieber, like that's in a class of its own kind of thing. Like you would have to do like a 20,000 person festival or something like that to have somebody at that caliber here.
Yeah.
But like on the short list, numbers that like I have Sean Paul on. Like I've already talked to his manager. They're on board. I've talked to Shaggy's manager. Like I said, I started in the reggae space.
Nice.
Nice.
So reggae names and contacts are really easy for me. I shouldn't say really easy, but over the years they've become easier for me to find and get a hold of, and they'll actually pick up the phone when I call them, kind of thing. But yeah, I have Sean Paul ready to go if we get there. I have Shaggy on the go if we're ready to get there. As far and like I have like other great acts that are Canadian that would fill in support that I'd love to show some exposure to as well. and some great opening acts as well that I'd love to bring on board. I'm trying to bring the full package and make it make sense for me financially, but also not care about the finances too much and just bring a great show. That's more my mandate.
Yep. No, I get that. I get that, but it still has to be not that you're trying to make money, but it still has to make sense,
right?
So that you have something to show for it, and make sure the artists all get paid and they have a good experience,
right?
And the crowd gets a good experience. And unfortunately, that just does have a monetary number to it, and so people have to realize that in order for you to have access to R&B and KW, you pay for it, but you didn't pay $80 for parking in Toronto. You didn't use the 401 or the 407, and you're home by 10:30. And to me, that's worth $100 right there. Right.
And that's a lot of people are saying that, like, if you could do this, if you could pull it off, I'll pay almost double if I don't have to go into Toronto.
Right.
Not charging almost double. That'd be insane. I think the pricing is very, very fair.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to check the pricing, but yeah, it's very, very fair. And like more the money that I bring in would be, it wouldn't be like, for me, it would be acting as a fund to fund the next act and to continuously raise the bar.
Right.
That's
and advertise, right? You've got to do, podcasts are great. They don't cost anything, but you got to advertise and let people in on the secret that, hey, this is all going on. Right. I feel badly because I know Andrew would want to go, but he blew his ticket money on that new shirt, and it's unfortunate. But
to be honest, I think they're about the same price.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, no, actually, Daryl, I'm always kind of looking at ticket prices of stuff that's going on, and it has been a little bit. I think you were in around the 117 to 125 range. Am I wrong there?
So it ranges from 85 to 115.
Okay, yeah.
And that's taxes in.
Yeah.
Plus whatever the ticketing fees are. I unfortunately don't have any control over that. But
no, I mean, to see an act of that caliber here in town at Center in the Square, that's a steal of a deal.
I think it's a hell of a deal myself.
Yeah,
but, we'll see what the community says.
And the community, they need to vote right now. They need to buy the ticket now. Otherwise, this isn't going to happen moving forward.
Yeah.
So everyone,
again, like if there's no support, then we have our answer, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there is support, then hey, let's keep it going. Let's see where this takes us. Let's see what the height of heights really are.
Yeah. So for everybody listening, get out there, buy your tickets now. Don't wait until the last minute like Lance is going to do, because he's an old man.
Give them the date and time. Like, let's really promote it.
Daryl?
Yeah, sure. It's August 16th. Show, the doors open at 8. You're welcome to show the door. The doors open at 7. The show starts at 8. It goes till 10. So it's a full 2-hour show, including myself DJing and my opening act and Montell Jordan, of course. But the full show is a 2-hour show. So you're getting your money's worth. It's not like, it was only a 45-minute show or anything like that. I don't pull any punches of anybody. If you ask anybody about my other shows, they'll tell you that I don't pull punches. I don't pull he came, but it was only a 10-minute thing or whatever. Like, I don't do any of that. Yeah, it's a full show. Yeah, so tickets are online right now at centerinthesquare.com. I believe that's what the website is. The starting price is $85, and the top seats are $115 plus whatever their ticketing fees are. Right. No idea what those are. And there's also a meet and greet if you would like for $60.
Oh, very cool. We'll drop all of your links in the show notes, but do you want to just share them quickly with us so then the audience can hear them and can jot them down?
Yeah, sure. Like, if you want to get a hold of me directly, you can go check out my IG at I am DJ Vibe, or if you want to hit me up on my email, it's djvibe@bookdjvibe.com.
No, thank you so much. Daryl, it was a real pleasure having you on the show. I'm glad that we were finally able to connect. and even though Lance showed up late.
I know that's.
I was a little worried that we weren't even going to see him.
I know.
Sorry here. Hey, I think it's Lance.
Once in a while, the day job gets in the way. I have to apologize. It just does. So
We're
if
gonna
we
have to
could
do something
somehow,
about that.
I know, you know what? We have to, maybe we should be asking Daryl those questions. How do you monetize being a DJ to the point where you actually can just do that? How do
We
we
can't get into
monetize
that now. We've run
Oh,
out
it's
of
hard, man.
time
It's hard.
because
I
you
know.
showed up late.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
jump all into that the next time, but
Well,
we're up on the hour here with Daryl, and dude, it's been awesome having you on. We'll
it's
touch
been nice
base.
meeting you, Daryl.
I'm gonna shoot you
Yeah,
some of the
likewise.
contacts that I have, and hopefully just that will help you even more.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And,
for sure, man.
appreciate the time and appreciate the outreach.
Thank you.